Viewer discretion is advised.
You know your friends and you know what's going to hurt them. And it's the smallest thing that I said to him. And when you say it, you wish you can take it back, but you can't. And it's like, man, you try and forget about it. And you hope that he didn't clock it or he didn't take it in, but you know he did. And it's kind of like that.
Mandate.
Welcome to Mandate, where nothing is off the table. And tonight we have some amazing young people, amazing young men, so to speak. And so they're both from Dominic and Koale, and they're both from the Promised Land, 274, also known as Tin City, but also known to better known to us as Home of the Brave, Otara. And so very talented young men who kind of cut their teeth in terms of the performing arts arena, film, TV, theatre. And one of them has been on, renowned for his part on Three Wise Cousins and also on The Other Side of Heaven, Part 2. And so he's been kind of off for a little while, but just coming back into the scene once again. So exciting projects on the way for this young man, but also the other one needs no introduction. You've seen his film just recently, Next Goal Wins. The man is kind of like an elite in our acting and performing arts, and also in terms of film, the man is up there. And so please put your hands together for these amazing, talented young men, Neil Amituanai, and of course, Beulah Koale.
Ma lo lava talo fa lava ia ma lo lava so fu ma langi mama lo ngo Beulah ke sa mai ngo sara I lua I se vai ma a ele u polu. I have 3 kids, 3 boys, half Māori, they're part Māori, part white, full Samoan. They come from Ngati Tūwhare Toa, also my religious to my wife, Georgia. So, yeah, that's me. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. I'm going to hand it over to my luba, my best mate.
Yeah, lo lava, lo ngo Neil Amituanai, ke sau mai ngu o solo, whale akiu. Same as Beulah as well. I got one child, one little girl. She's from the
Yeah.
She's from the iwi. She's from the iwi of Te Pori and Te Kau. Yeah. But same as B, thanks for having us. It's a privilege to be here and share our stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, mahalo, love all sorts. And also, I guess it started the ball rolling because we had Beulah last time. Awesome deal to have you on board this evening. And so when I got the message from the uso here, oh man, exciting news, and the things that you're kind of working on together with the other uso dom. And so, brothers, tell us what's been happening. Tell us what's the project that you guys have panned out together and worked together on, and tell us because it seems quite exciting. So please give us a bit of insights of what to expect.
Yeah, I'll start off. Me and Beulah and one of our other good friends, Dominic, we first started at a theatre company called Massive, and this would be going back, I'd say about 10 years ago.
Wow, yeah. Past
10 years, eh? And we all sort of started theatre together. It was the first time I met Beulah, first time I met Dominic. And we did a show called The Brave, and we did that for a few years, and we always told each other that we were going to make a show together, or we were going to make something together. And, fast forward a couple of years on, we've put our heads together, and yeah, man, we've decided that we're going to put together a show, but it's going to be about us, be about our friendship and the journey that we've been through. And it's pretty cool because with Massive Company, there's a beautiful lady, her name's Samantha Scott. And she basically,
queen.
She's our queen when it comes to performing arts. She taught us everything about performing arts, but not just performing arts, but the work ethic behind performing arts. And that's something that we carry with us day to day. Our work ethic is of that standard. That's quite high. And, it's like full circle coming back around, this beautiful lady, Samantha Scott, she's going to be the one directing us for this show, alongside co-director Scotty Cotter. And yeah, man, I think when we first started, it was, we had a choice about what we wanted to put on, and it was that choice of going away and thinking of something that we were going to do, or if we're going to get a writer in to write something for us. But from the get-go, man, I think we wanted to do something that meant something to us.
Massive theatre company is they run a whole bunch of free workshops, especially like every school holidays for young, and that's where we met. Just going off just to make those details, we met through these free workshops at OMAC, where people from all over Auckland came to OMAC, and Neil's lying if he says it wasn't true, but we turned up because all these East Auckland girls came.
I saw the pamphlet also.
It's like we're like, Solly, they look into your eyes and don't run away. We're like, yo. So, but we gotta tell the truth a little bit over here. But that's how we would have been 15, 16, man. We're in our 30s now.
Yeah.
So, but massive theatre company. They work physically, which is, I think, what attracted us, because we were like, but we were fresh. We didn't know anything about theatre. And this lady Sam Scott was just like Gordon Ramsay, just like harsh. She's a Spalangi lady who was just like, and we, Islanders, we respond to harsh. We don't, if you're nice to us, we'll probably run you over. And she was harsh. Like, she said some pretty honest truths. I remember, like, specifically, like, when we were sitting down and we weren't answering our texts or texting her or being prompt on time, she was like, why do you guys act stupid? Yeah. Why? And I was like, well, you can't say that to us, white lady. Act stupid. She's like, no, because you're way smarter than that. And I've seen you be smart, and I've seen you be amazing and beautiful. Why do you're not that? I know you're not. And I remember us going, bro, honestly, that's the truth. So she's like our Jedi. And massive theatre company, they make every work they make it from scratch. Like, they don't get a play from somewhere, or they don't do Shakespeare. Like, they create a play. So when we made The Brave with 8 men, we made that show together with 8 men, and it was about us being men and being brave, and about us. And this show is about the three of us, me, Neil, and Dom, navigating a tough time in our life as brothers, because we thought we were the epitome of what brothers should be at one time in our life. For a long time, we were like, we are the example of what best friends should be to the world. And then we weren't. And then we didn't talk to each other for 2 years. But we like pretended that we were still all good.
But
like we weren't.
I think the love was still there. But you still turned up for each other, but we knew deep down inside there was broken. There's cracks here. It'd almost be easier to just sweep it under the carpet like we always do. But to actually talk about it and like try and find a way around it was quite tricky, because it's like, are we putting too much effort into a friendship? Do people normally do this? Or, because like B was saying, and we thought our friendship was, that's it. This is the expectation of it. You turn up for me, I turn up for you. And then when we took a little dip, and that and something happened, we kind of stuck there. And it was over a duration of time where we didn't talk about it. So for about 2 years.
We like hung out and we pretended like we're still the same friends from beforehand, but no one wanted to talk about the brokenness. And it took us making this show to figure it out. So this show is kind of like our therapy. The show is it's probably the toughest thing I've ever been through in my life, and that's saying something, being from Ota, because we have a tough life, but tough because we've had many conversations to each other, honest conversations where we're going, all right, to get to the next level of writing or ideas, you have to tell me the truth, and I have to be brave enough for it not to hurt me, and I have to hear it. And that sucks.
Yeah.
And then those conversations like still wrecks me now, like get goosebumps. And that's what the show is. And then the show is called I Love You, G. You know, it's just about us three brothers trying to figure out our friendship. And let's put it on stage and let's get our people to come. And that's why we came to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, because we're massive fans. I know Neil's a massive fan. I'm a massive fan. Dom's a massive fan. And you speak, the audience that watches and listens to this is the people we want to come to this theatre show. I mean, it's all good if theatre people come, but nah. I need the hood to turn up.
Yeah.
I need the gangsters to turn up. You know, like, and I'm for real for that. Like, I need the little brothers and little sisters to turn up for this. So, I know, we'll talk for ages, but.
Ah, that's cool, man. Hey, maybe.
There's a call out to SA and all
South
our,
Auckland.
Yeah, man.
the hood, and even those surrounding, just those in Auckland, man. If you resonate to this, you resonate to the call out, and especially those words, I love you, G. You know what that means. You know how much you feel when you call someone else a G. Only you know, if you know, you know. And so I'm excited the way you guys talked about. So man, call out to everyone. Turn up for this because this is our people, for our people, and I'm excited to know more and fire out. I'm definitely going to be there.
Thank you.
Even if I have to be security.
At the back of the curtains.
Your high-vis vest.
I have to.
Hey, also, because it'd be interesting. 'Cause I like what you said. That you guys kind of still kind of met and you kind of go through the motions as brothers and as boys. But you said that there was something that was broken. Like you guys didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But you kind of knew that there was something that was not quite the same. And so I don't know. Maybe can you guys kind of delve into it a little bit more?
I mean, we can talk about it.
Yeah, 100%.
The show's gonna be different.
Yeah, should we start from where it
What
started?
happened, Neil?
Yeah.
It's still time to talk about
Oh man, where do I start?
You know what?
The guy that's not here.
See, that's why we're broken because he never turns up.
I told him,
Be right here.
I was like, my boys turn up. Yeah, I also didn't turn up.
Yeah.
It started on the night before my wedding. So that night, and we sort of all got together. We staying at this nice Airbnb, and man, it's the night kind of felt weird for me, and I think we went through and we did things that we normally do, like as usos, you know, we roast each other, we sit around the table and we recycle the same stories we always talk about, and
We all know this.
yeah, man. So we told the same stories, but like 10 versions of it. But we did all of that, and for some reason I felt like I wanted a little bit more. But I think that was coming off the back of because I called my wife and I said, how's things going, and she was like, I'm getting pampered. The girls are looking after me. Like, they've surprised me. They've done all of this and this. And I turned to my left and I saw the boys sitting there with KFC. And that was all good, like, because we normally do that. We always do that. That's our thing. We sit there with some KFC. It's simple. And we sometimes have a few beers there. We roast each other. But this night, it felt different, I felt like I wanted a little bit more, and I just didn't know what it was. So man, the night carried on, and the roasting sort of just hit different, It's
Can I explain the roasting?
Yeah, go.
And like when the brothers roast, like they bring up stories from the past, and I mean, I feel like I'm pretty elite at roasting. And that night I was just like, you're going to get it. And I just went in, roasting, having a laugh. His little brothers, his older brothers were there. We were all cracking up, just roasting Neil about this particular story that we always laugh about.
Yeah.
And it's always funny. It probably still is funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what was going on in Neil's head.
And I think for me it was having a combination of my blood brothers there, my siblings. They were there, and then my two best friends were there. So Dominic and Beulah, all under one room. And I dreamed of this moment for so long. I was like, man, my brothers, they get to see me with my two best friends, and I want them to see what it's like to have two best friends, you know, because I don't know who their best friends is, my siblings, but I only wish that one day they would have good friends like mine, or I wanted to see them what good friends are like. And so those good friends are sitting around the table roasting me.
Destroying you.
Yeah, man, and they were going hard, and yeah, man, something just clicked in me, and it just didn't hit like it used to. And yeah, man, I just saw red. I got up and I walked out of there, and long story short, man, we sort of had a few words. We said a few things to each other.
Neil has this look. I mean, we all know the look when the switch goes, the brown look, you know, either the anger look. And I remember roasting him and watching Neil walk to the bathroom, and he just closed the door, and I was like, oh, so good. Tuk laughing, all the boys still laughing. I was like, Neil, come on. And he opened the door, he came out, and I looked at him in the eyes and said, he's not there, something's on. And I was like, gee, what's going on? And Neil just started barking. And I was like, whoa. And then the whole room went black. And you just like going, what? And Neil just started barking, and I was like, just let's talk, let's sit down. And we eventually got Neil to sit down and talk, and he's just trying to make his hands busy, tie his shoelaces. And I don't know if you want to talk about what was going on in that moment for you.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, man, it felt like everything sort of just went inside. And I couldn't breathe. It was just real red, and I was just like, you know, when something like just pulses constantly. Yeah, and like what B was saying, like I was trying to keep myself busy from like, by just tying my shoelaces and stuff. I was about to, you know, get up and just take off. I don't know where to, but I just wanted to get out of there. Yeah, and it wasn't like a big like argument or anything like that. Sort of something. It's the first time something like that had ever happened to me, Beulah and Dom. And some things were said. Like,
Yeah.
Some things were said. I remember, you know, where I looked at B and you know, you know your friends and you know what's gonna hurt them, and it's the smallest thing that I said to him, and it sort of, you know, you wish when you say it, you wish you can take it back, but you can't, and it's like, man, you try and forget about it, and you hope that he didn't clock it or he didn't take it in, but you know he did, and it's kind of like, damn. Should we?
Yeah. So Neil had said something. You probably find out in the show, and it's not big, but he knew the exact word or words. I think it was like 3 words to say to sting me, and it didn't sting me in that moment, but it did make me question our brotherhood, going, whoa, because everything was moving fast. But that moment happened, and then it was the ripple effects that hurt. So then that moment happened. We come together, we talk about it. Neil gets over it. Well, I just remember Neil I was like, just get it out. Still thinking about what he said. Watch my best mate feel good. So is it all out now? Then we have a debrief talk, and then we pretend we're best mates again for the next day, because we still have to put our best mate up on the wedding. Yeah. While we're all scarred, we've got these new scars, and we're like, what's going on? But we were in the car driving to the wedding going like, whoa, thank you, God, for letting that happen to us. Yeah. Well, see, look, this is why we're the bestest of friends, because look, not even that could break us, and we're still gonna be proud and take you to the wedding. And we were in that moment, if we were being, but we're lying to ourselves to say that we were all good. And I guess the show is like the inner thoughts. Everyone has your inner thoughts about what you think, what I think of myself, what you think of me. And it's just, like I call it the dark dog. And I got a big little dark dog is always on my shoulder that starts talking. And I guess Neil's dark dog was there too on that night. But then we had 2 years of not talking about it. And that dark dog got bigger and bigger and bigger, and those thoughts and that ripple effect of those 3 words, for me personally, sent me down a deep dark hole that I didn't even know if these guys knew, but my little brothers and that they got the brunt of it, and they were trying to figure out what is up with this guy. But the crack happened ages ago that they don't even know about. And then first time we talked about it was when our director was at the wedding. She goes, "Oh, I love you guys, man. I want to make a show together with you guys again, because look how happy you guys are at Neil's wedding." She didn't know that we almost had a massive scrap, and she didn't know that our souls inside were cracked. And then 2 years later, when she wanted to make a show about something, we got together and put forward some ideas that weren't about that. And then our friend Dom, hi Dom, you're supposed to be here, wrote a piece about what happened that night. And I remember when we read it, I was going, oh, it's like pulling up your deepest, darkest secret and revealing it and go, oh, we're gonna talk about it. And that's what unveiled the whole thing, and that's where I Love You G was born. It was born from that, and that's where the, I guess, healing or the understanding, trying to understand and navigate began, and that's where the show began. So the show was, you're gonna watch us try and figure ourselves out, try and figure our brotherhood out, but mainly ourselves.
Yeah. Because I would say that we're still trying to figure it out now.
Yeah.
It's not like we've got the end product and we've fixed it. I think even to this day we're still working through it, you know, and trying to kind of rewrite the friendship or re-identify our friendship. It's like, oh, okay, so that's what Mauso, you know, that's what upsets him, or that's what Mauso's actually like, or, you know, just trying to rewrite or re-identify it, or refine it. It doesn't need to be the same. I think that's what we understand. We've understood now that we don't have to go back to the old recipe. Yeah. And it's okay to rewrite a new recipe. Yeah. About it.
And then also like asking you guys, let's flip the script, eh? Let's ask you guys a question. Like, why do you guys, whatever friendship, like thinking about what we were just talked about, if you guys have that brotherhood or a friendship or a group like that, then something has happened. Maybe something is, I want to ask you guys, like, why do you fight for that? Like, why? Because there's been many friendships as well where I know we've all done the same thing. We just let it go, and then life happens. But why do you choose to fight for this one? Why do you choose to go for the battles and the scars? Because you get way more punishment for barely any benefit. I mean, right at the end you get the brotherhood, but it's like we're always asking ourselves, it's like, bro, we can just end this now and go carry on our lives and go carry on our careers and not go through this hardship. But why? Our question is, that's part of the show. Why do we fight for this? And we're asking ourselves, but we're asking South Auckland, West Auckland, we're asking you guys. And we like to say that we're going to put a mirror in front of us and look at it, and hopefully the audience see themselves, and hopefully they can go away and ask those questions for themselves. We just got to make sure our show does that. It's good. The show, cousin.
The podcast was better than the show.
They don't even watch it. No, I'm on Neil's side.
Straight up. Yeah. Sorry, we talked for ages. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, man. Like,
It's funny, just Pete saying, like, joking about, oh, I'm on your side, I'm on your side. Often in friendships, when it tends to become by default when you get into these sorts of disagreements or difference of opinion, like whose side are you on, or like, typically we go with our own side first, and sometimes it can be hard to see the other side. And part of that, you've highlighted, we don't know what's going on in people's heads. But just going back to your talk on friendship, I guess, at least for myself, it's identifying the value of the friendship. And I don't know how any of us value friendship. We might all value friendship differently. Like, do you guys value friendship based on the amount of time you've known the person? Is it how frequently you see the person? I personally like low maintenance friendships where we all understand we're all grinding and hustling in whatever field we're in. But when the time comes and we come together, it's a grand catch up of, roasts, joking, what have you been up to, updates. But I personally don't have friends that I see frequently. So I don't know, it might be different for you boys, but yeah, my perspective on fixing friendships is slightly different because of the things that I value in a friendship. Yeah.
that's good, man. Charles?
I have to make my one work 'cause my best friend's my wife. I ain't.
Valentine's finished ages ago. Just because you get a Valentine's present.
It's Valentine's. It's our lifestyle.
Tell them. You can tell the boys. You can tell them.
Let it out.
So different what you're saying for off camera.
Man, when you guys were talking, it made me just reflect on like certain situations that have happened and how I see friendship as well. Like, and like ever since I was young, I always kept people at bay, like just so I wouldn't get hurt. And then as I got older, like people I invest into, it's like I always told myself, people are there for a season, or people are there for a reason, and some are there for a season. And so it's like, when they move on, it's like, okay, I know that was seasonal. But then, like lately, I think about friendships where something has happened, and you see them, and you think it's all good, and you say, yeah, but deep down inside, it's like, bro, there's something that has to be addressed.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I want to go there? So as you guys were speaking and talking about your journey and what you guys want to portray, it's like, it's put a mirror on me. It's like, shucks, okay, I have to do some reflecting. I have to really check myself, and then also think about like the people I have around me, and in terms of like just those who I like, my siblings. When I always, those are you choose your friends, you can't choose your family.
Yeah.
And so those are the ones you're like, oh man, if I don't talk to them at some point, they won't go away because they're always there. So you're always going to fix it. But then, as we know from today's news that, shucks, life can just end just like that.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, there's so much thoughts, so much emotions that have come up, and I'm excited for this journey because, man, who does that? Like, like values brotherhood like that. I got brotherhood, but that's because I've kept them at arm's length, that I know I can go to them for the banter. I know we got each other when, like, bro, I need someone to talk to. But like that tight, like ride or die, this shucks. It's hard for me to.
What do you think that happens when you say like it's seasonal, and like does it hurt you? Like if someone just fades in, or doesn't? Yeah. And like I'm asking you, like where do you think that comes from?
Hurt from when I was younger.
From younger,
because of being mistreated. And then it's like, I keep everyone at arm's length now. Yeah.
Because as much as I asked that, because like what we learned from this show is like, as much as we try and pretend and say it's about brotherhood and friendship. It's about you versus you.
Yo.
You know, it always comes down to it's like, how do you see yourself? And why do I care about what Neil thinks of me? And what do I value then? And yeah, that's why I asked that.
That's powerful.
Man, that's a good question also. Just like similar to Charles and similar to you guys, just recently, I've had a bit, not a fallout, but I had an issue with one of my best friends, and he happens to be my brother-in-law as well, and so I can understand in terms of some of the things that have happened and some of the situations where you feel like, oh man, bro, you're not listening, and as tight as we are, there's some times where you feel like you can't express what's really going on in your mind sometimes. And then that sucks because you think, hey, well, how tight are we? How close are we? Even to the point if I can't even ask him or I can't even tell him what's happening in my head. And even if I'm so pissed off at him, it's like, hey, bro, you can't be doing this kind of crap, so to speak. But what it's come down to is like, as close as we are, there needs to be a time and a space where we can honestly be open and honest with each other. And everyone talks about communication and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. But I really believe that if you are that close and you are that tight, that we need to have a space where also, man, are you good? You're not good? And you know us as men, yeah, all good also. And then we leave, we joke around like you were saying, you roast each other, go our separate ways, and in the back of your head, oh, what a dickhead, man. And then and just like you were saying, Jay, and then you kind of talk to whoever the missus or whoever you confide in, and you kind of blurt it out, and it's not resolved. But I think there needs to be a space, and as for men, and I'm talking about emotional intelligence, where we're able to articulate and share our thoughts and really and say not in a way where they're like, oh, piss off, you're dickhead and all that kind of stuff, because we do say things that we don't mean at the time. Probably at the time we mean it, but when you look back, like you're saying, you're like, oh man, I shouldn't say that. Oh man, I shouldn't have said, or maybe the roasting shouldn't have said that. But I think there needs to be a shift in terms of our mindset. Like, also, I don't really like what you just said there, man. That's not cool. And still take it on the chin, like, oh man, sorry, also I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to hurt you in that way. But it needs to be a shift, because I know for the longest time and we're brought into this. I feel like we're brought into this. You can't express your feelings. We're men. Don't talk about that. You can't talk about this. You're too soft. Harden up. But I think the tides needs to change where we can actually talk and actually say, hey, at that moment, also, I'm not happy with you. That's not cool. And still like, okay, still be tight. And say, okay, I appreciate that. Instead of go, oh, okay, also, and put on that mask, you so to speak. You should put on that, oh, okay, thanks for sharing. Also, when you leave, what a guy, you know, well, this guy, man, who do you think he is? Tell him what to do and say he's not happy with me. But it needs to be out in the open, and it needs to be a place where we feel safe to share. Share that.
And how does that happen? Like, it's just like, I mean, if you think about it, like, well, us, I mean, it happened by accident from making a show.
Yeah.
But then conversations of like, every time we get to one stage of, okay, we fixed it. Then we put our show together and we go, nah. Then we would go to the specific bar in Kingsland. Me, Dom and Neil would sit around the table, and then we have that just look in each other's eyes and we have to go to the next level where we've had this. What have we said to each other?
We're like sort permission to go there and to not get upset.
Yeah.
But if we right here, right now, we're gonna give each other permission to be honest, and
that it requires permission from all sides, because there are bits in rehearsals, and I say this to Neil now. Neil probably doesn't know, where I was waiting for him to say what I think he wanted to say. Like, I was going in my head, because I'm so aggressive. I was, just say it, Dick. Just say it. I know you want to say it, but I was looking at him going, he doesn't want to say it. So then we done that meeting, and I saw my mate, and I saw Dom, and we just said, whatever you say can't hurt me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but you have to. Has to come from all sides, and it has to come from permission. And it's like, I bet you it looks different for other different groups and different friendship. Maybe it's over a call, but it's not something you can plan or imagine.
Yeah.
It just has to have a moment where you just gotta look your bro in the eye or sis and go, "I give you everything." Kind of like, you know, when you're at church, we know that. And you have that moment. I mean, we're like kakaluing, but we're thinking about, you know, what's fukonga and blah, blah, blah. But maybe once or twice in your life, when life has kicked your ass, you've had that prayer or you've had that cry where you've gone, God, I'm ready for it. All good. Anything and everything. You know, kind of like if I'm thinking about something that I know maybe we've all experienced, it's like that. But having that with a human, that's a big ask, you know?
And having that with your best friend.
It requires a
Even
lot.
more. So, yeah.
Man.
Jeez. Man, it's funny. You just inspired a thought about how, you know, why is it so hard for us to have those conversations, to give permission to just go there? And it just made me think about how I think sometimes we associate, especially if you've grown up the way that we've grown up, where, you know, you do something bad, you get a hiding, like that's the discipline. So we associate pain with it being bad. And so when it comes to people we love, we don't want them to feel pain. At least in my mind, I'm like, I don't want them to feel pain. So I'll avoid saying it in the most painful way, which sometimes leads to not saying it at all. And I think to some degree we can all relate in terms of, like, you know, with our wives, sometimes there's things that we want to say, but we might
Come say it on the podcast.
And it just reminded me of an experience. Like on Monday, we had a guest here on Monday, and I was just stressing from work, and, you know, I couldn't even get myself to message the boys and be like, I can't make it. And so my wife stepped in and was like, I messaged Pete, and when she told me, I was like, bro, like, you jumped in for me.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, I was grateful because she said what I couldn't, and on the other hand, I was like, bro, like, what are the boys gonna think? Like, shame. Like, I can't even send a message. I can't even tap my screen 10 times and hit send.
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad for it. And it just made me think about how, you know, you guys had mentioned time and space, Pete. And sometimes it's hard to find. You can't find the perfect time and perfect space for it. Similar to on that night, you know, when the door opened, there was no perfect time or space. It just had to happen there, or the realization had to come in a moment, and you just sort of have to pick up the pieces and find your way. But yeah, it just reminded me of this quote about how I think breaking, destroying, or discarding something is easy, but fixing what's broken, that's the real hard work.
Yeah.
And so just big ups to you guys for being so open about it. And it just made me even more curious to see the show. But just, yeah, really made me reassess where I'm at. Like, maybe I don't know myself as well as I thought I did, and I definitely don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an image. I don't know if you want to talk about the image, you know, the vase, like we like to describe.
Yeah, what is it? Is it
Just
like
Japanese,
Japanese. When a is it a flower vase when
Yeah.
it cracks, and when they put it back together, they put it back together with gold. Is that the right analogy? Because once it's back together, the gold, it's sort of what makes it. Oh man, I forgot.
That's what makes the vase a new vase.
Yeah, a new
the
vase.
cracks are still there.
Yeah, the cracks are still there, but you've gone to the next level, and I guess you can call that level like a certain gold, because not everyone gets there.
Wow.
But when you do get there, you know, you can see it, and it's filled with love. It's filled with gold.
That's how we our image we like to use, for the show, like, or our friendship, or what we're doing is like, we're a broken vase. Or why do we want to put it back together?
Yeah.
And why do we want to go out and search for gold to glue it back together? But at the end of the vase looks beautiful,
Yeah.
Looks
Better than what it was.
Yeah, way better than what it was.
Yeah.
But still cracked.
Yeah, still that's it.
Yeah.
Right? It's still there. You're not getting rid of it. It's not going anywhere. But it's just been put back together. But you can still see it. It's always going to be there.
That's cool, because not only it's about brotherhood, and you know, you shared that it ends up being you versus you, so that's the internal assessment, but you guys value the friendship to fight for it. Like not many. Yeah, I can go and do my self-assessment, but I'll be like, no any value. Why am I wasting my time with this? And so to endure all of that, it just shows the brotherhood, the friendship. Like at the end of the day, that's worth saving.
Yeah.
And did everyone value it the same?
That's
I'm
it.
curious, because obviously, you can put 100% in, but if someone's not pulling their weight, then that helps.
That was
you
it.
assess your friendship.
True.
After that moment, I remember. What a dick. So I was like, like years, about 2 years later, I was just like, I'm gonna go find myself new best friends. I did.
True.
I was just like, cause I'm like you. If you screw me over, I'll cut you. We're done. And that moment was, like, they didn't screw me over.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was so bad, but with so little, that I questioned everything about our brotherhood. And I was like, okay, go to the default feeling that we know, cut you.
Yeah.
And I went to city kickboxing, started boxing with one of the guys. It's like, these guys are intense. These are guys that are like me. They are my round winners. This is my new best friends. All right, hey guys, hey. Trying to find new best mates and going, lying to myself for ages, going, I mean, they're great friends, but trying to replace them to fill a gap. And then I go out in the weekend and drink and be like, no, screw those guys. Always talking about these guys. And then my little brothers be like, someone go pick up Beulah from wherever again. There he is talking about how, and then you start to tally points about instrument. I've done this for the friendship. I've done this. This is what it means to me. You should go all in. You should want to die. You should, but that's not the same as Neil. Neil doesn't. What you're talking about or value. I don't know how Neil values it, but it's like I thought we were all the same. I thought me and Dom and Neil were the exact same people before the crack happened.
Yeah.
And then, hey, I don't know if you want to talk about it for you.
Yeah. I think for me is what Bill was saying. For me, it was like, because it took me 2 years, and we actually never really spoke about it until we started the rehearsal process. But I thought about it nearly every damn day. Like, I thought about it a lot. And I didn't even tell my wife about the incident till like 2 months after. I sort of kept it to myself because it's kind of like, as a man, is it weird that I'm pushing this hard for a friendship? Do men normally push hard for a friendship? Like, is there a rule for something like this? Is there a book for something like this? Because the main how we all know it's done is it's done, and you kind of like harden up, get rid of it, or just cut them out, and then but it's like me, I really wanted this friendship to work, and I really wanted to bring it all back together, but how? How do we do that? I know, like, just talking is one of them, but I'm like, oh, man, I keep thinking, man, am I fighting too hard for this? Should it be this hard to fight for a friendship like this? And yeah, we never really got there until we started the rehearsals, and I don't know why it was so hard. And I planned many times in my head to, like, I remember I was telling Bea, I was like, man, there was Christmas, family dinners, birthdays that I planned in my head. This is how I'm going to say it. This is how I'm going to bring it up to him. We're going to walk outside on the balcony with our beers. I'm going to stand there, could be kind of tipsy. I'm going to be like, so Lewis, do you remember that night? He's going to be like, oh, what night? And I'm going to be like, the nightles. So like, oh, yeah, the night before your wedding. And I'm going to say, so like, I just want to say, yeah, sorry about that. Hey, shouldn't have said that. But, I had something like that planned in my head, but it just, the space wasn't right for it because it didn't require a moment like that. And I think we said it earlier that it's not planned. Something like this has to happen naturally and not around alcohol or what we know or what we normally used to. you know, because we've never been through something like this before. But yeah, for me it was just fighting a battle in my head, like, oh, man, as a male, is it worth it to push this much, you know? But yeah, we're still working through it together now, and you know,
We don't know the full details of it, and like in terms of like the happenings, the ins and outs. But you guys have both shared like different processes of what you guys were thinking about and how you guys dealt with it. But it both hurt you, and it shows how much you guys value this friendship, and it just shows like any relationship, how much do we value our relationships, and what are we willing to do to work through it. You look at a marriage and your significant other, like, you got to see them every day. We might say things that like, but that may hurt each other, but you know, you have to go and sleep in that same bed. Oh, most of us sometimes when we're allowed. But you know, it requires the patience. It requires the truth to come out. It requires like the time, and I love this because it's a teaching moment, not only for you but for men. Like, man, I think it's cool. I think it's amazing, and it's refreshing, and I love it, and I can't wait to see the show, and I can't wait what it does to me in terms of my relationships and how much burden it might take off me in terms of like, how much I want so many broken relationships. Gotta go ask for forgiveness, allow people to hear my side of the story, and so
That's
much.
why we're here, man. Honestly,
Love it.
like, we're here because you guys have a podcast that is our show, you know? So we want to talk to their audience. We want to talk to you guys. And we want to do your show on stage in a different way. And not beginning, middle, and end. We don't want answers. We want more questions. We want people to think. Because when you go to shows, you go beginning, middle, end, done, uma, go sleep. You don't think about it. What we want you to do is when you leave our show, even if you're going away confused, we want you to dream about it the next day. The next day. The ripple. We always talk about the ripple. Yeah. When something drops in. Yeah. The ripple effects of what we hopefully provoked out of you. And that's a lot of how Massive Company works. And oh man, they do free workshops, and I want all these Polynesian kids to do it because that's where we came. Yeah. And if Dom was here, he would be saying the exact same thing, but in a more eloquent way. Yeah. Neil and Dom, they're like the beauty writers, like Mr. Aggressive. Dom's the glue. He's the glue of this friendship. Hey.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's I don't know if you want to talk about Dom a little bit.
Yeah, Dom's like what B was saying, he's the glue to our friendship. And I think Dom to both of us are different type, because to me Dom's an older brother to me, and you might see Dom differently to I do, but I sort of look at him and I'm like, that's like, you know, I copy everything about him. I just sort of, man went and worked the office job, and I went and worked the office job. The man dresses, you know,
They're dressed the same.
If he wears triangles, you wear triangles.
So I'm wearing triangles.
They got history.
The Panther leather. No, those are the ones he wears. No, but you know, Dom's one of those guys that I look up to, and whatever he's sort of doing, I think coming up, you know, through Massive Company, it was a lifestyle I wasn't used to because I was working in a factory before I sort of did all this performing arts stuff, and I didn't know what I was doing. I don't think either of us knew what we were doing, right?
For the girls.
Yeah, for the girls, man. But like, I was looking at him and I was like, okay, that's the expectation. That's the guy. So whatever he's doing, I will follow him and I'll do what he's doing. So I guess in a way, yeah, you could say I look up to him like a lot, and I imitate, like, you know, try to, for the good of, you know, imitate what he's doing in life, because he does some amazing stuff. And yeah,
He just won Best Actor last year, 2023. He's had it tough, man. Like, you know, in terms of life, in terms of being in our space of work, you know, we got to go out there, pretend, and try and look for jobs to pay bills. And in terms of the story, Dom is like, he's like he's like the moon, because the fight's between us two, and he just like, he floats and he observes, and he just catches the stray bullets. And he's trying to figure out, and I'm trying to figure out, bro, you backstabbing me too? Do you want a hiding team? Both of you guys gonna get hiding teams. He's going, dumb, you're on my side. It's like, so he's got this super different perspective that, like, it's hard to explain, but he's always on the outside watching these two knucklehead Samoan kids, and we'll try to scrap it out. Yeah, I wish he was here.
yeah,
But
man.
nah, he said what he's at is way better than this. So I was like, nah. Dom, bro. Clip that in. I was like, so come with the boys mandate. Here he goes, nah, don't.
Dom, man.
Oh, wow, Dom, man.
But even his perspective around the whole situation would be interesting too. He's probably frustrated. Like, man, these guys,
Straight up.
these guys, you guys need to make up, and hey, are you guys gonna make up, or I'm gonna go get my own friends as well.
But he couldn't, because we're in the trio.
Yes.
So good, man.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting dynamic, eh? Like, it's cool to hear
threesome.
the more.
Oh wait, and that's what we're sticking to.
Trio.
Sorry.
Samoa De La Salle behavior.
It's coming out. That is awesome hearing about the dynamic between you three. You know, the more you guys talk about your friendship. And, you know, I guess the good thing about having a trio is you always have that person that mediates, or there's always going to be a solution, because it'll be 2-on-1 or 1-on-1-on-1. So just really cool to hear a little bit about that. I'm curious, you know, you'd mentioned talking about the show and coming through Massive. What is it about theatre that, you know, for a lot of our community, some of us have never been to a theatre show.
Yeah.
So what is it about theatre that you've chosen this particular medium to showcase this story?
I just think you can't hide with theatre. Yeah, you can't hide with it. I think for us, it's what we're. I guess it's what we've grown up with. You know, with theatre, we sort of learnt through theatre. We came up through theatre, so it only feels right that we want to tell a story through theatre. I think the most important thing for me is that it's more intimate. Watching someone on stage, and you're so close to them, you can feel their energy. You can almost feel if they're not genuine, or if it's just a performance, or if it's the truth that they're putting in front of you. You can feel that. You can see it. You can't hide. But I think for me, that's what it is for me, is that, man, there's no hiding when it comes to theatre.
For me, it's similar to Neil. It's the reason why we're best friends is because of theatre. The reason why we're best friends is because of Massive Theatre Company and this lady called Samantha Scott. And we've come up since we were 15. We were 15, Dom was 15. So 15 plus years of doing this. And we've gone off and done our careers and done what we've done. And we've just been like, we got to go back. It's like us coming back home. We made some money, we're doing our thing, but let's go feed our soul. With the thing that taught us the game. taught us how to do the craft. As honestly, it's like going back to your like sensei and back to their dojo, and like theater it requires so much of you. On film, I can go there and fake it. I don't need to do as much work, or I try to do heaps of work, but our standard of work comes from theater, from this lady called Samantha Scott, who just drilled us like a drill sergeant. And it was tough. And it's still tough now doing this thing, but it requires, we chase excellence. We're never going to get it, but we don't do anything less than excellence. For our people, I want our people to understand that like theater isn't beginning, middle, end, come watch Rapunzel or William Shakespeare. I was like, no, we're not going to make that theater show. We're going to make the theater show for the hood. We're going to make the theater show for our people. And we're not going to make it like, look at me up here, sing, dance, island town moon songs. It's like, nah, we're going to do that, and we're going to go straight to your heart. And we're going to try and break it open. And theater is a vice for that, just like how music is. Music, if someone sings a very good song, or you listen to a good song and go straight to your heart, you can do the exact same thing with a theater show. Or I can just target someone and go speak straight to their heart. And when we came together, we said, and we pushed hard, it's like, this show is going to be totally different from any other massive show that's ever done, any other show that we've ever done. And it's going to require a lot from us. And we're doing it for us, ourselves, not just our friendship, ourselves, but we're doing it because we need our people to come watch. That's why we're here. I'm going to say it again. That's why we're here, because we want our people to come out west, Corbin Estate. It's called Te Pou Theatre, May 1st to 11th, and come watch this show called I Love You, G. And as much as we want to say, it's just a little phrase, I love you, G. There's so much more in that, you know, and it's, our kids need this. And not just kids, our adults need this. I hate it when adults come to the show and then they're like, man, I wish the younger kids watch it. I'm like, you need to watch this. You need to listen. Like, you haven't got it figured out. None of us do. So it's that's what this show is.
Yeah, 100%.
Man.
No, I was just looking at a message where my sister said, love you, G.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, so timely, you know?
Yeah.
And how powerful it is. Yeah.
Love you, G. Man, also, man, 'cause I actually thought Beulah and Neil, obviously we were excited to talk about the show. And oh man, the show, but what you brought to the table tonight was like some deep stuff, man.
That's what we're trying to say, man.
There's some deep stuff in terms of, and even in terms of the platform, like for our men, because our men need to hear this.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, Neil. You said that on stage, during theatre, you can't hide it. You can't hide those emotions and those feelings. And we are emotionally charged people. We have feelings. We have moods. And imagine if we could just transfer that in real life. Instead of just hiding, because people mask, are really good at masking, and masking even now is a phenomenon now. People are good at masking. But imagine if we could just be our open, our authentic self, and more so as best friends. Yeah, and I know that whatever happened in terms of the wedding, but for you guys to share snippets of what happened, it's just taking your friendship to a whole new level. And people do, and I know Jay talked about perspectives. We come with different perspectives, and as men, and I said this to myself because people always say, "Hey, men don't like to talk. Men don't like to express their feelings." But when you really think about it, we like to talk.
Yeah, man.
We love to talk.
It's lies, eh?
We love this. That's full of crap. Like, people, us as men, we like to talk, but what's been sold to us is like, oh no, we don't talk because you can't express these feelings and not be vulnerable. Obviously, we talk about vulnerability for several years now. People talk about being vulnerable. But the perspective that you're bringing and the different perspectives that you guys are sharing, that there's one common denominator with all our perspectives and different perspectives is because you love each other. And I sit here and think, man, like you're saying, I don't know, is it worth fighting for this friendship and all that kind of stuff? And contemplating this is how I'm going to talk to my uso and all that. But the common denominator in all of our perspectives is that I'll fight for this because I love the uso. And that's the only reason why it's worthwhile, because I love him. You know, it's not we do not the love like we love our wives or our partners, but it's that manly love, that man love that sometimes we don't like to talk about. I don't talk about man love, whatever, all that kind of sentimental stuff. But that needs to be talked. That needs to be on the table. That we as men, we can love deep. And just hearing you guys, your relationship as friends and as men, it's just gone to a whole new level. And for men to say, oh man, I need to work on my friendship with my best friend, and there's still things I don't know about my best friend, but I'm willing to go through that journey because I love him. And that's gone to a whole new level, because I'm thinking to myself, oh, do I love my friend?
Yeah.
Do I love yeah, but it is. It's a love that we need to talk about as men.
Yeah.
Because it's totally different from the love of our wives and our kids. But how often do we kind of say to our usos, hey man, we love you, love you. I mean it, I love you. Look in the eyes and say, I love you.
Yeah.
And sometimes because of their culture, even our culture, the cultural differences or barriers, it's prohibited us to really say, hey, I love you. No, I genuinely love you. Yeah, and to the point like, I would die for you. And so that's bro, what you brought to the table tonight is like, man, this is new to the table, man.
Wow,
like,
that's why we're here, baby.
new to the table. I'm really intrigued. I want to watch this show now, man.
It's that. I mean, that's my little sentence. I was like, I'd die for you, G. I'd die for, and I would, but it doesn't require death. This brotherhood don't require me dying for you, you know, and that's my. That's my, what is it? Alphaness. Argy-barginess of like, no, I'll do anything. I'm so aggressive with love. It's just like, it requires you to be soft, B. If you need to love me. It requires you to listen. You know, that's what it requires you to shut up and listen to your mate. And understand. So it's like, I mean, the answers to this conversation, the answers to the show, is more questions. Yeah. But you just have to ask yourself, you know, and that's why we're here, man. We don't want to come and be like, we just want to promote our little show. It's like, sure, we want to promote our little show, but we want to let our people, we're literally telling you the show. But we want you to come watch our version of it, how we do it on theatre. And we use physical, we use music, we use script. Yeah. And yeah.
I mean, we talk about the cracks in our friendship as well, but I think we got many crack up moments as well. So that we got some funny ones, man. So, because with our friendship, you know, there's absolutely no line when it comes to our. Sometimes the stuff these guys say, I'm like, hey man,
we're gonna get cancelled. And you know the mocks.
Yeah, man, and there's a lot of that as well in the show, you know, about you know, us and, you know, the stories, the roasting that we normally talk about, the one that, so it's also funny as well. You know, there's heaps of other stuff in there about us sort of coming up, growing up, and, you know, little moments that we've shared together, or you know, me and Dom, or Beulah and Dom, me and B. Heaps of that in there as well. Yeah.
As much as it feels deep, and it is deep, it's a deep show. We're boys. And we know, and that's what we're saying. It's like, we're not deep therapist talkers on stage. We're literally the boys from the hood doing a show on the street, and we're dicks, we're idiots, we like laugh, mock, drink, have fights, have like actual scraps, and then we can sit down and talk for a little bit and look you in the eye and say, I love you, G. Then we can go back to being dicks, being funny, getting growlings from our wives. Like, all our drinking, bro, our drinking stories on tour. Oh man. So South Auckland went to the world. That's what we thought, you know, every time.
He was laughing.
Bro, we're in Hawaii, bro. We're in Hawaii, bro. We like got money, got paid, but there's two South Auckland boys still bought a 28 box of Coronas. Remember? And our other Palangi mates were like mocking us in the cast. They're like, bro, why don't you just come to the bar? I was like, bro, we're gonna save our per diems. You know, it's like we're just drinking. And then a couple of drinks in, they're like, so remember what Uso said? Yes. Oh yeah, a couple more drinks in. So he really said that? And then, like the box finished, then we go, let's get to the bar, fussy this guy. It's just like all those moments are just our South Auckland silliness that we look back and we laugh at. It's like when we all thought, it was like, we're tough because we're South Auckland. Don't know how to fight. It's hard, G. It's like, oh, man. Yeah, we got all of that too.
Yeah.
All of the.
That's crack up that you mentioned your wives, because I was curious about what do your wives think about this brotherhood? Because there must be times where they're like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
What's that dynamic like?
Oh, that's another level.
Yeah. Oh, my wife, she knows. I mean, I knew the boys before I knew my wife, and she loves the guys as much as I love them. But yeah, man, she's like, you know, with all the stuff that's been going on, she's always in my ear like, why can't you just talk to him? Why can't you just say sorry? Because I don't need to.
Why do you have to go to a whole production?
Why can't you just have a beer and just say I love you? Just talk about the stories you guys normally. But she's my wife always like cracks up about the stories that we always tell. Like, you know, she's always like, you guys are funny because whenever we have a birthday or Christmas, we sit down, have a few drinks, and we tell, you know, the stories. And she's like, she'll sit there and laugh about it, but when we get to the car, she's like, oh man, I've heard that story like 10 times, but like you guys retell it in a different way. But no, she trusts that whatever we're going through is gonna pan out the way it's meant to. She's you know, doesn't get too involved, but she's like, you know, I know you love those guys because I love them just as much as you do, and I know it's gonna work out. So and she knows what we're like. We're gonna talk about it. We just need to figure it out, like how. Because
my wife's pretty much the exact same. I've like copied this guy's wife. Yeah, that's like he got this. I remember when he first met Wiki. We call her Wiki. Her name's Shanice. And I was like, yo, girlfriend's from, how old were you? 16?
Yes.
She's like East Auckland. She's like fair skin, look Palangi. She's half Māori. I was like, you went with a Māori? I was like, oh my God. And then he's like, she had her own car and everything. We're still in school. And then when I got my missus, she looks exactly like this. Got the exact same thing and like same temperament. They're like twins and best mates. And they, I mean, if you think about it, it's just like they probably look at us like idiots, eh?
Yeah.
Just sit on the side because they're just as much as this friendship as we are. I love his wife. I know they're the godparents to my children and plus Dom as well. And they know the ins and outs. And I know our wives or Shanice could say something real simple to us and it stings way more because, you know, it's real honest. Just like, why don't you guys just talk about it? It's like, yeah, it is that simple, but it's like, nah, we're women. It's a different way. It's like, why don't you guys stop spending a lot of money?
Where'd you get my phone back?
Why is it heaps of all those packages from Amazon? It's like, I'm kidding. It's the hurt, eh? Nah, it's all good.
That's another show.
It's called I Love You Sunga.
I love you, babe.
I'm sorry.
Nah, she'll be back. All my side.
Oh man, I love it. It just opens the door to this new, not new, just highlights the importance of talking and working it out. And I love the what you guys always say. I give you permission to be honest. Because sometimes we're fearful of that. We're either fearful of what we're going to say and how it will be received. And so, yeah, I think this is an opportunity for all men to grow, learn, and assess. And so, you guys are awesome. Shot for being courageous. Because it's courageous. And there's a lot of sacrifice that's gone into this. You guys could have done other projects, but...
Yeah.
It shows your passion.
This is
Beulah's Hollywood now.
Nah, bro. This is like I mean, I told the boys, and I'm sure it's the same for them. Like with sacrifice of 2024, I think 5 months of our work,
Yeah.
and for actors who work is spaced out, like that's a lot. And then my agents and team, they're like, "What are you doing? You could be making money doing this project." For me personally, it's like, this is the highlight of my career. You know, just going up on stage still with my best mates, and I always tell them, it's like, you don't know Dragon Ball Z, but I promise you, it's like the episode where Frieza killed Krillin. And like when I come out of this one, I'm gonna be a new version of me. He's gonna be a new version of him, and the world's gonna have to sit down, because I know this. From this, we have to evolve. And going off what you're saying, just like I know. Because your table is the table, and we're coming to you guys to talk, and you probably had this conversation. I mean, we listen to you all your episodes, like all the time about mental health, about men talking about this and that, and it's probably almost as sucky as it says to say it, like almost mundane now, because it's just like you guys say it all the time, and it's almost like buzzwords.
Yeah.
So we're coming to you with we want to throw that up in the air anymore. Like, it's not a mental health. This is not a come men talk. This is just, we're just gonna be boys from the hood, showing you a mirror, you know. And like we're not going there to try and make men talk. We're not going there to, we're going there to fix us on stage, and you guys watch it, and see what happens from there. Instead of all these different buzzwords, you know, it's just like, because then it becomes something, and I don't want to put that on you guys. It's like, I just want you guys to hit that. Yeah, that's
and we appreciate it also.
Yeah,
This is a totally different episode, because obviously the guests are talking about themselves and their journey, but you guys are actually talking about like real time of what's actually happening. And the thing that's interesting, because sometimes people come in and acting and so forth, performing arts, and we always hear like, oh, we want to share our story, Pacificanize a play, whatever, and hear our Pacific story. But you guys are not doing that. You guys are actually telling your story, your story, experience. And sometimes people, as actors, we go up there on stage, we're not actually, and you know, we know these specific stories and we act them, but cool, we're proud of them, but we don't often act as ourselves and share our own stories. And so, man, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. I love what you guys have done tonight. You guys have turned the table pretty much, and actually having these courageous conversations, so to speak, and sharing with us. I love what you did, Beulah, just to flip the question, hey, because it's all about us as men having a kōrero or talanoa, like, wow, this is what's actually happening in your life, and it got me thinking, how many other brothers out there who probably in the same situation, and because they weren't able to articulate or have opportunity to share their thoughts, and that friendship has dwindled, so to speak, and gone, and you think, man, how sad is that? That they would not, there was a unction to fight for it, but because I didn't know what to say and it wasn't the right time. Imagine how many other men out there who are viewing this or listening to this and say, man, it's been years now. I haven't caught up with the uso or the toko, and that friendship is no longer intact. So that's sad, and I love what you guys are doing. You guys are actually doing something. No, that doesn't have to be that way. This is the new way. This is the norm. It should be the norm. Actually speak and be authentic with each other, because if you really are your best friend should know who you are. And if you can't share that stuff between each other, then what's the point of calling each other best friend? When they don't know who, if that's the little part of who you are, you don't want to share that. What's the point? That's not who they're not seeing. They're not getting the best of Neil. They're not getting the best of Beulah. This is who I really am. And it's said that along the way, a lot of men have kind of missed the opportunity and say, "Oh, man, I wish I could go back and reconcile with my best friend." But you guys are, I think you guys right now are just probably pioneering what should be normal, and changing it.
Like, it's always the voice that you have for you, because probably to them, like, you could just reach out. You could. Why don't you send the text? Because the story that you're saying in your head is way bigger than what the actual moment is. You said 10 presses, press send.
Yeah.
But the story, for me, the black dog, for you, what was going on in your head, in your life at that time, for you, why don't you want to go talk to your brother-in-law like that. You know, why do you push away? Why are friendships just easy like that for you? It's not them, it's you. You always gotta look in, you know. And that's what we're discovered. It's just like, instead of asking the question, instead of making the mission harder than it actually is, just look in.
Yeah, it's true, because I mean, for me, and it's just something that I've recently just discovered, is that I underestimated my touch on my friendship. I underestimated it, you know, and I just thought, you know, friendship is just there, just being there, but it's also, you know, it's simpler than that, but it can be like, I feel like some people underestimate the touch they have on their mate, you know, and stuff like that. And I have had other friendships that have fallen apart and stuff, and it's solely because of, you know, yourself, me. I've just I'm like, oh, he doesn't need me, like, or he doesn't. He's got other friends, you know, out there, and he can talk to other boys. But, you know, I think now, and I'm like, damn, man, I would have, if at that time, at that moment, I felt that feeling to reach out to the uso, my bro, then imagine what it could have been now, you know. But, you know, I've learned not to underestimate, you know, my power of the touch I have in my friendship. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Like, I'm like, oh man, if I feel like I need to reach out, I'll reach out, you know, no matter how small.
It's good.
I love it, man, because so many people will resonate to the different 3 stories and your guys' individual perspectives, and like already both of you have shared a lot tonight, and like I could resonate with a lot of it. And so even though your intention is not to you know, push me into like, oh, we got to come together and talk, but you know, the product of you guys sharing your story and is that it allows people to put that mirror in front of them and like, you know what, I gotta start looking at everything that I'm doing and the people in my life. So love it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Man.
I was gonna ask Neil, because you know, you said that you went missing for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I heard you became a stripper for like.
Sully, who told you?
He was there.
Sully,
He was the one. He was the one guy.
He was
Did you want to share about it also?
Yeah, I don't mind talking about it. I sort of went. Oh man, it's been a while now. Like, this project here is my sort of like my comeback into the arts and stuff. And for I'd say about 3-4 years, man, I just sort of just went quiet. Just you know, I think we were talking off air, and I was saying like, my little brother, he got cancer, and he's like the youngest of our family. And at the time, like, there was so much going on, life was happening, you know, and I just wasn't in the right mind space to turn up to auditions, and, you know, I just felt like I wasn't offering the best of me. And I remember the last, I was sitting on set, and I just wasn't happy. And I remember sitting in the trailer, and I was like, man, I can't wait to get home. And I just wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. And the guy I was acting with, and he was a new actor, he was like, man, should we ask the director if we should stay on, if he needed help, if we could sort of be in the shot. And I just remember I got pissed off. I was like, man, just chill, man. Like, yeah, we're not going to get extra work. Just relax. Like, and then that was me thinking, damn, I'm not in the right mind space to be doing this, because, you know, I'm not offering my best self. So I withdrew from the books and stuff like that, and just sort of went away and just lived life, you know, and I got real good at, and it wasn't a bad thing, you know, I got real good at working my 9 to 5, and I was happy, you know, I had it all. I woke up, you know, went to work, I had a good thing going. And And then, 3 years on, and I think it was last year, and I'm like, there's something I'm missing here. And it was failing at something. It was trying at something, and I was really missing it because for so long I was just succeeding, but success can feel empty. And I didn't know that. Like, I was like, I don't know, success could feel empty because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I have it all, I got building a house, I've got a good job, I work the hours I want to work, but something's missing. And so, something clicked, and I'm like, man, I need to go back to fighting for something. And that's where I was like, I think I'm ready to come back into to auditioning and performing arts. And last year I jumped back on the books, and I did I did 2 other auditions recently. Didn't get them, and I'm like, man, stuff this. Now I know what it feels like. No, but in that moment of failure, you sort of sit in it and you're like, man, this feels good to hope for something, to want something, and to fail at it, but be like, yeah, that's all right. And that space of that 3 years was everything. It was the space that I needed to just go away and do whatever, and then come back and you're refreshed, ready to go again. And it was only meant to be for a year, but it turned into that long. I'm like, I get real nervous now when I'm back in rehearsals, and I just feel like I'm doing everything for the first time. But like, I trust myself and I'm okay with it. I sit in it and I'm like, that's fine. But I'm so back now, and back in that fight again, and back in that grind. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the moment? And no, I won't talk about it too much.
No,
The pet markets.
Oh yeah.
Don't need to go in specifics for that.
Do you
but
want
just
to talk about that? Yeah.
No, I was saying about bro, sitting here watching him do this is for me amazing. This is my best mate who hated talking, who almost hated the game again, because it was so ugly. Just like what you said, success can feel happy. You guys might see us make a movie, but when we read comments and stuff, or you don't know how much that hurts. I mean, no, you guys do know, because I've seen you get angry and call out some people on Instagram. But that's it. It's just but I mean, we laugh about it, but it stings and it hurts, and the ripple from that. And Neil kind of had a similar moment. I mean, we all had a similar moment, but Neil had a moment like that with his work, and we didn't even know this, and you don't even know your guys' impact. And we were at Pep Toy night markets,
Yeah.
and I don't know how it came up. I wanted to come together because my black dog was loud, and I was like, boys, meet at the park right now. The dog is barking, and when that text goes out, then we meet at the specific park in Pep Toy, and we just sit around, and then it became, thank you God, a moment where Neil just unraveled everything, and you guys were a massive part of that.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to go into specifics, but
I think it was funny because we sat in the car to eat, our suppers that we bought.
Some of them were rank. $15 for this.
Man, terrible, man.
It's just me. I'm gonna meat.
I was like, so I got you. Watch this.
The kaluli was still fresh.
Yeah, man.
Maka. Scratching my tongue.
Those things kongers now.
It's lula pisi na.
Oh man. But it was funny because we sat in the car, and I turned on the car to wind the window down, and you guys were I was listening to the podcast before, and I was just talking to the boys about like a therapist that I had been seeing and talking to and stuff, and it was real weird because the therapist was like, what do you long story short, we were studying the podcast that Beulah was on, and it was listened to it. I honestly would say about 10 times, because it's and me listening to it, I felt like I didn't know this person, and I kept listening, and we took bits and pieces of that podcast that you guys that when you guys had be on, and we would work on it like a little bit. What did you like about what that Beulah person said? And I would say, I'd go into detail about it and stuff. But yeah, that was a time like, you know, when I sort of went through in that space of trying to find myself again, or trying to sort of figure out what I was doing. You know, I reached out, spoke to someone, and yeah, and it was you guys. We were nitpicking from the podcast and stuff like that. So
We were in the car for like 2 hours.
2 hours.
Bro,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
sure they thought we were doing something else in the pep toy, because it was like foggy. But like Neil never. Yeah, it's like the Titanic. The Titanic.
You at the back end.
Solid. But then they look in and it's like, why is there 3 guys? But like Neil, he's the special one out of us three. For me and Dom, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of Dom. Neil's the star. He's the star of the show. He's the star of like our friendship, but he doesn't know his. Knowing it now, his specialness. But yeah, he spoke for 2 hours in this car. Yeah, and I was looking at him going, but this guy doesn't talk more than 10 minutes. And he was just unraveling all these things that me and Dom didn't even know, because Neil's so good at hiding or keeping to himself. And we were shook. And I remember leaving going, holy crap. And your podcast was a part of that that journey of him unlocking whatever he needed to unlock. And I was just like, so happy. And I'm sure I can say for Dom as well, watching my best mate do that. And just like all of a sudden he became eloquent. Like he just became, because you know we try and be like Southside talk, but like he was talking about his feelings, talking about what it made him feel and how he's trying to figure it out. And then like from that moment he just evolved. From that moment on, rehearsals, and even now seeing him go back, take his photos, have his baby, his wife, like my bro has this glow. There's this glow about him that me and Dom are just like texting each other, go like, dude, look at our boy, he's back, you know. It's just, I can't wait for the world to see his specialness. You think me and Dom are good? Bro, man. I mean, yeah, you know, he's and I'm not being that guy. I'm just like, you know, my boy deserves his flowers, and yeah.
Love that. And I love how friendship can, you know, really lift each other up and be honest about it. And it just shows, you know, LaSalle, they really groom great men of society. Hey, that's why you're so eloquent. The education you receive from
LaSalle. LaSalle, 3 men in the car.
So that's the real issue, eh? Is that the real issue?
Oh man. But yeah.
Oh, thank you.
If we could get those groups, man, I'd love for those LaSalle, like you guys, LaSallian Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I'd love for the Tangaroa College Brotherhood, even though we don't have a Facebook group like that. You guys are cool. You know, all the schools, all the brothers from all the OGs to come watch the show. That's for you guys. It's for us. But yeah. Should we talk about double passes?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we got 2 double passes to come watch our show, and we're going to come up with a little competition. How are we going to run that competition, yo?
I reckon if you tag your friend or a good friend, you know, and you put "I love you, G"
Yeah.
next to it.
Yeah.
and then we'll just get one of you guys to
Select,
go through.
yeah.
Yeah, select it, and
Even not a good friend.
yeah, not
maybe,
a good friend.
Maybe even a friend that you haven't talked to, that you want to send that text to.
Yeah.
You know, tag them in it, right next to their name, say, I love you, G,
Yeah.
under the mandate, whatever snippet this is. And they start a conversation.
Yeah. Cool. And if you're too shy, you can just put ILYG,
Yeah.
and then they'll reply, "What's this?" And then you can say, "I love you, G."
Yeah.
Just put the acronyms.
Yeah, because it's scary, and we're not trying to make everyone say like "I love you, G," and like we're just trying to start a conversation. Because we don't got the answers. Everyone said it. That's come on the podcast. We've listened to heaps of them. No one has the answers. We're here to find the right questions.
Loved it. And you get a bonus entry if you say I love you, G, and then on the next story you just in your triangle under.
See, back to last hour.
Your leopard ones.
Okay, sorry. Scratch that. That's another one. But if you DM me,
Man. Also, man, that's man. Just tonight has been very therapeutic because it is different. It's a very different episode. Also,
yeah.
Obviously, we always listen to our guests, but this was very different because it's you guys are actually sharing something real deep that's happening right now. Obviously, people come in and talk about something that happened in the past.
Yeah.
But you guys are talking about now. And I love what you said, Beulah, about the thought of, it's sad that people don't kind of connect or don't text someone. And you think about it because, you talk about the mirror, Charles, and it could be, why are some of the reasons as to why we don't try and keep in touch with a brother or try and check in on that person. And you look at the mirror image of why. You look at the issues like fear, rejection, maybe time has gone past, it's just too long. And you look at it, you put those things together side by side, it's the same. The same way we look at, he should contact me, or she should, whoever. And you think we're thinking is exactly the same thing. And so it takes the person, the one who humbles himself, or the one who says, you know what, I think we need to salvage this relationship and come back together. That's the one, maybe the one who's got the most capacity to reach out should be the one. And you're right, Beulah. All it takes is just a little text or a phone call away to salvage those relationships. And I think if we are able to kind of go, I know, I'm going to humble myself. Because what happens when those two reflections, those mirrors when that happens, nothing happens, Nothing happens. Because we're both thinking the same thoughts, nothing happens. And so it takes the bigger man to say, hey, man, also, we need to catch up. Love you, man. Or I love you, G. So imagine how many relationships in terms of men, the brotherhood, would be salvaged or just be restored. So what you guys have brought tonight is more than just a show. It's healing. It's healing for not only for yourselves and navigating the relationship, but you go on in terms of the relationships. It is like you talk about Goku, a big Dragon Ball Z fan,
baby.
and you go to another level, Super Saiyan level. You just keep on growing, evolving, and the relationship becomes tighter and closer. And that's what you want. You don't want it to be stagnant. Okay, this is my friend. You want it to keep evolving, and learning from each other and being there for each other, and supporting each other. And so, yeah, man, what you had to share tonight also was it's a lot of power, man. A lot of power.
Nah, can't wait for you guys to watch it, man.
Yeah.
Come along and say the dates again, May 1st to May 11th. We've got a couple of matinee shows. We do need I think we need a couple more schools, so I need to reach out to come watch the matinee shows. A bunch of, and I want them to be South Auckland or West Auckland schools to come watch the show because it's for kids too, but it's for adults as well. Mainly. We'll send out the date. You guys will definitely come and watch the show. I'll be interested to see what you guys think.
Yeah, man.
May 1st, May 11th. All this work of 2 years, maybe 3 years, all up since whenever you got married last.
Yeah.
Was it
Yes.
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
Yeah. All gonna be showing in the 11 days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Love it.
Thank you guys for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you, man.
you want to say, bro? Yeah.
And just going off what B said, yeah, we're excited. You know, it's been like a long process for us, still going, but we're gonna, you know, fit it all in into a show and give it to you guys in the next, you know, that from May the 1st to May the 11th at Beulah Theatre. So excited for you guys to see it.
Shout out to. And shout out to Dom, he couldn't make it. It looks like you're the Krillin of the group. Yeah, you're Krillin.
Mr. Popo.
But yeah, I guess like we always like to give our guests their flowers. And I'm just grateful to have two brothers from Otara, South Auckland, Tangaro College, De La Salle, and just boys of your caliber, just coming on here and really sharing your hearts, choosing us. Because, man, we're still finding our feet in terms of, like, we're really passionate about this project and what we want to highlight for our people. And, you know, telling our stories and having a platform where it's not edited or cancelled, where you can just, you know, have a platform where you can express yourself, and the hope that whoever's behind that camera or watching from home gets impacted in some way.
You did, man. You guys have done that.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to all our guests, and especially for you. So, like, you know, it was massive when you came for us. We were like starstruck, but straight away it was like, man, this guy is just like us. He's from the hood. He alo, or he, you know, respects, like, he's from the hood, and even the friendship that's been developed just online, like watching your stuff, and then you message you, and then I get to watch your movies, and then I can see, they're good, man. Okay, yeah.
Let's be.
But, you know, just and I love the stuff you share. So, like, thank you so much for having that heart for our people. And I just wanna, I can't wait to see the journey ahead and connecting with you. So, man, I'm excited for you.
La Salle, baby.
La Salle, baby.
81, baby.
But yeah, and hopefully we get to meet Dom one day, and just keep on. Krillin. Sorry, you guys are acting as real quick again. But just shout out to what you guys are doing, and mad love to your family. So yeah, thank you so much, brothers.
Yeah.
Man, it's really clear that this is truly is a passion project for you, and it's awesome to hear some of the nitty gritty about the realities of friendship, because it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Like, you know, friendships, we go through hard times, and it's developing the resilience and the courage to have those conversations, to find out what's worth fighting for, what's worth saving. And I love that you guys talked about, you know, even just the evolution of your friendship, thinking about how you guys were all drawn by this passion, or this, you know, almost happy accident to come together and find passion in the craft, to find a mentor like Samantha Scott that you mentioned, and seeing her impact on you, and then having this story come full circle with her involvement, your own journey as brothers. And I love that, you know, despite having a lot of similarities, you guys can appreciate the differences. You can, you know, you've gone on your own journey, even just as individuals, to know your strength and your role in the friendship. And I think that's amazing. And so my final question, one thing I was curious about for you guys, because I find this is something I'm trying to do more of, but can you tell me about perhaps an underappreciated fact, maybe something that another, you know, that maybe be for you, Neil, something that he doesn't realize the impact of something he's done, or something that he said that you will always hold close to your heart, something that you'll always treasure, but maybe he doesn't quite know the impact of it. Because you've talked a little bit about that episode of Mandate for Us, and it touches my heart, and I'm sure for the boys as well, to hear that had impact. But are there moments for you guys and each other when you think about your friendship where you're like, man, this guy will never know, or maybe he does, but not quite how deep your appreciation for that one act, for that one word, for that one conversation, what would it be?
Yeah. I think for me it's despite like everything that we've been through and everything that's going on, I still trust and I still love that he still checks up on me, and it's just a phone call, man. And I fucking love that, you know. And like, because sometimes I can't bring myself to do it, and I'm still learning. But the simple thing is if, you know, I can count on him that he's gonna make the first move, and you know, he's gonna call me and be like, oh, what are you up to? Oh, I want to come out for lunch, stuff like that. And I love that, you know. It's sort of just makes me feel that, you know, although there's this thing that's going on that we're still working through, like, you know, he's good to put it aside and check up on me, you know. That's one thing I appreciate heaps.
Yeah, Shachi. Yeah, that's well, that's different. Something I cherish about this guy is his softness. It's something I envy, something I love. It's not softness, it's his love, his care. He's a very caring, nurturing person who doesn't say much, who's not even action much as well. But it's like, if he does, I am sure I can say for Dom again, like Neil has a special aura thing about him that he can just sit there in the room and give you this look that he has now and make you feel safe. I always feel safe around my bro. I feel unsafe when things are not good, and I know I see something's happening. I also appreciate now with the new Neil, he's opened up his guard to us. Because even being best mates for all these years, Neil was always the one that we didn't really know what was going on in his life. We were always the last ones to find out, and always sucked they were the last ones to find out, because he always felt like he didn't want to burden us, or his troubles wasn't significant enough. Now I'm stoked my best mate knows his touch, like you said tonight. Yeah. You know your touch. If I can speak for Dom, he's very similar to Neil about the joy he brings. Just like he just sits there, he gives you a look, and Dom has a specific hug that he gives there. It's like only Dom can give that hug. And he'll just whisper in your ear, I love you, G. That's where it comes from. So I love that about my brothers. I love that. I'm envious of them. I'm jealous of them in a great way. I'm jealous of all their great things. And we've got kids together now, you know, our wives. It's just like, I thank God. Thank God for this friendship, and I thank God for the courage of all of us to fight for it.
Yeah, mahalo lava usos. Man, Beulah and Neil, thank you usos. Thank you for widening the scope tonight and giving us the opportunity to share some of our thoughts and our opinions around friendship and brotherhood. And so it's been a pleasure also. Absolute pleasure, because that's the hope. Obviously we want to encourage and inspire men, but also we want men to really share what's happening here and also here for them. And I think you've given us the space, and you've kind of added more value than you think to the podcast. And like I said, this is different. And so Maro Lava Usos, thank you so much for the opportunity to come tonight, but also for us as the host to hear your story. And we look forward to the show. We really are. We're looking forward to the show and seeing it come to life. And all the best with the show, but also with other projects you guys have lined up in 2024. So, man, bless you guys heaps, and thank you so much coming in and sharing your hearts this evening. And so every time our guests come in, we always give them a gift. And so also, just as if this is for the end of your show, we want to. I know Dom's not here, but this is for the end of your show. We bought you some champagne.
Yeah.
Some champagne. So when the show is finished, also, you guys can decide who wants to take which champagne. And so this is for you guys when the show's done. That you guys crack some champagne and celebrate together as a group. Obviously, Dom's not here, so we'll get him one when we see him at the actual show. But also, thank you so much. Appreciate it. But let's see. I don't know. Is there anyone you can think of that you think they would? Man, should bring the uso in, or bring the toku in to have a bit of a talanoa with us? Is there anyone that you can think of?
Other than Dom.
Yeah. Dom can come do his own one.
Yeah. It'd be awesome to talk to.
Anyone, anything?
That I would love to see on
Yeah,
the show.
anyone that you think that would be ideal to come on?
Man, I'd love to see David Toole on the show.
Yeah.
David Toole, Mark Hunt.
Yeah. My card's keen.
Yeah.
Just got to get him to come home.
Yeah, Mike Hunt. Super Samuel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to go left field with this. I'd love to see Sam Scott.
Sam
Yeah, this lady.
Oh.
Yeah, I would love for you to interview this Palangi woman who, because there's a lot of, it's really hard for a Palangi woman to tell Pacific stories or help us tell Pacific stories, especially from our Pacific people. They think, why are you doing that? But it's not why are you doing that. It's like, we want her to do it. She brings out the best in us. So I want our people to understand who this wizard is. This woman who just her perspective on, I would love for you guys to see her perspective on, she loves Pacific Island men. Because, I don't know why, just like, because I guess we're open and easy to work with, but because we're so guarded as well, I guess. I don't know, I don't want to speak for her, but she's just this woman that no matter what Pacific Island artists said about her, we're always trying to rock her up to be like, no, you're doing the right thing. Don't listen to them. Keep helping tell our stories because we want you to do it. So I'd love for her to come on the show.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. I always give the guest the last words. Anything you want to share? Any last words of encouragement or what you want to say?
I love you, G. Is our show. May 1st to 11th at the Pro Theatre. Come along. Bring your families, bring your friends. Everyone. If you don't know what theatre is about, this is the perfect show for you because this ain't theatre. This is just three boys from the hood telling a story. So, yeah.
You want to add anything to that, Neil?
No, everything would be said, man.
Shadows. Awesome. Malo. Thank you once again, brothers Neil and Beulah. And as usual, brothers.
Refine.
Unlock.
Take charge.
Mandate.